Check this out. 4th of July message from 2 NASA astronauts supposedly on board the International Space Station as it hurtles around a ball in a vacuum in freefall doing 17,500 miles an hour. So let's have a look.
Greetings, Houston, and happy 4th of July. I'm NASA astronaut Kjell Lindgren, along with my NASA crewmate Bob Hines, orbiting aboard the International Space Station. Along with our nation's Independence Day, we're also celebrating the 60th anniversary of NASA's Johnson Space Center.
Now, Bob's about to hit the mic and about to bring the whole pantomime down here with what he's about to say. He's speaking to Houston. He's on board the International Space Station supposedly doing 17,500 miles an hour in freefall around a ball. But listen to what Bob's about to say.
Houston is called Space City because NASA's Johnson Space Center is the home of human spaceflight. We design the missions, train the crews, and orchestrate the flights from right here in Houston.
From right here in Houston? You're not in Houston, Bob. You're supposed to be on the International Space Station 250 miles above the Earth doing ludicrous speeds around a scientifically impossible ball. So what are you on about right here in Houston? Did you just slip up, Bob? Is this mock ISS that we've seen you guys on here, is that in Houston by any chance?
Houston was the first to receive words from the surface of the moon, and the next giant leap will also start right here in Houston.
And he says it again, right here in Houston. Bob, don't mean to shake you a little here, but you're supposed to be in a space station above the Earth, not right there in Houston. It would seem our friend Bob here has just brought the pantomime down by highlighting the fact these two clowns on our screen aren't in a space station orbiting a ball. No. As Bob's quite clearly said, he's right here in Houston. Bob, you blew it, fella. We know the globe's scientifically impossible anyway. We know space in the form it's presented to us, i.e. spaceships and space stations orbiting a scientifically impossible globe Earth, is just ridiculous. And then when we look at the footage, as this channel, my channel, has highlighted week in, week out, it's just a silly pantomime performance for the naive. And then we look at the 4th of July message, they're actually so blatantly, obviously mocking these believers of this silly charade. They're actually now telling you that they're in Houston when they're supposed to be in a space station orbiting a globe Earth, doing 17,500 miles an hour in freefall, 250 miles above the Earth. But as Bob has just said, he's right there in Houston.
Houston is called Space City because NASA's Johnson Space Center is the home of human spaceflight. We design the missions, train the crews, and orchestrate the flights from right here in Houston.
Oops! It would seem Bob has given a little bit of a clue here as to where the space station really is. It's right there in Houston, where these clowns get attached to harnesses, interact with augmented reality, and pretend to be in a space station orbiting a scientifically impossible ball. So I would say, based on what Bob's telling us here in his 4th of July message, this silly pantomime stage is somewhere in Houston. Thanks, Bob.